I would like to ask, being a spouse of, someone that has children by another woman, what difficulties, if any, have you identified?
I would probably say it's very hard. I think the kids. What I mean that the baby doesn't get the fact that the other two kids live with their parents or their mom. So he's happy. He's always happy to see his other brothers, but I don't see the same with the other two kids because they're older. And I think it's more, a negative feel because they feel like they're not with their dad all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have, emotional outbursts at times because they're not in the house all the time and they feel like the baby gets treated a lot differently because he's in the house. So that's the hardest thing to juggle or to have a balance to keep everybody happy. And regardless of, they're in another household, we try to make them feel as they weren't.
Definitely.
So it's very hard.
Yeah, and I thank you for sharing because that is a very common theme with blended families. What I would suggest is that we identify subsystems and treat the subsystems. The subsystem you're referring to is the father-son relationships. Mm-hmm. And as the clinician, I would propose that I meet with Jay, the father, and how old are the older sons?
18 and 14.
So 18 and 14, they're old enough to engage in talk therapy. So I would have the 18, the 14-year-old and the father together, and I would identify ways that you can enhance the quality of interaction, because the quantity is going to be in the favor of the baby since he's with dad 24/7, but we don't have to minimize the quality of interaction with the 14-year-old and 18-year-old. So a lot of the earnest, and not to take away from the entire system per se when it comes to responsibility, but as my style of therapy, I would put that earnest and responsibility on the father to be able to manage those subsystems with the 14 and 18-year-old. So the 14 and 18-year-old, the 14-year-old and the 18-year-old don't feel abandoned or neglected because they don't have as much quantity of time, and they can have a heightened level of quality. Because even if the 14-year-old and 18-year-old were living in the home with dad, they're still going to be in a stage of life where they're going to want to go out and do their own thing anyway. So you can manage the quality without having that quantity.